Welcome to the fourth episode of Real Estate Matters. I am your host and realtor, Dwayne Morris, Century 21 Evo Properties. Today is promised to be an exciting one. You have asked for them. Yes, National Housing Trust is here with me today. They're here to talk to us about owning our homes and to also share with us the different benefits that they have to offer us. Joining me today is Camesha Samuel Smith, Marketing and Sales Officer, and Dwayne Berbick, Manager Corporate and Public Affairs, National Housing Trust, NHT. Welcome, Dwayne and Camesha, to Real Estate Matters. How are you?
Very good, very good.
Thanks very much for having us.
Yes, my audience, they asked for you guys, where's the NHT? And so I'm happy that you could be here today to give more insight to the audience as it relates to NHT, because so many of us, we own our homes, our land through NHT, and we really do appreciate. I'm speaking on behalf of Jamaica now, right?
Yes.
We're happy to be part of the conversation because, as they say, although many persons have owned their land and their house through NHT, we know we have many more
that
to assist. So
yes.
we need these fora to keep providing the information to individuals.
Yes, I do agree. Right, Camesha?
I agree.
All right, so my first question is, how does NHT work?
Well, we provide loans to buy, build, and repair homes. We provide financing for housing projects with the aim of increasing the housing stock in Jamaica. So that's our aim. That's how we work.
So you work. Anything to add to it?
No, not really. As Camesha says, that's our primary purpose.
That's
I know a lot of people know us for refunds from January every year. But beyond that, it's primarily a mortgage and a housing finance institution, as she said, adding to the available stock of housing and providing the financing through loans to build, buy, or to improve. Yes.
Okay. So how are points calculated, and how many points do I need to be qualified for a loan?
Dwayne, should I?
Yeah.
Okay, so the contributor earns 20 points for every 52 weeks they contribute to the NHT, and points are also derived from the weekly income, the weekly gross income. So, for example, someone earning, say, $7,000, which is a minimum wage, $15,000 per week, they are already starting off with 110 points. Oh. And, for example, if they have been contributing for 1 year, then they have 20 points. So that's 110 plus 20. So the longer you are a contributor, you would have accumulated more points.
Okay.
Yes. Now, the second part of the question is how many points do you need to be qualified?
Right.
That's kind of tricky because we don't know the cohort of persons who will be applying for a particular scheme, because the higher the point standing, the more likely it is that you'll be selected for a scheme solution. But all persons who meet the minimum qualifying requirements are eligible for a scheme. So points are only applicable for schemes. If you're buying on the open market, you don't need to worry about points. You just need to be a contributor for 1 year.
So how much points do an individual need to receive if they are selected for a scheme?
Again, I would say that it's kind of difficult.
The
more points you would have accumulated over your work life, that puts you in a better place to be selected. And I just want to add that selection is not only based on points, but it is also based on where you live and work in proximity to the particular scheme that is being sold. So it's points, and it is where you live or work.
Okay.
Right? So persons will say, boy, NHG will give to an older person because they're contributing more, but there are times when we do select young professionals, right, Dwayne?
Yes.
Yeah, so everybody has an equal chance of being selected for one of our scheme solutions.
Awesome. Tell us about the NHT refund. You mentioned it earlier. Tell us about the NHT refund.
Sure. So every working Jamaican, once you're between the ages of 18 and 65, you should be making your NHT contributions. Whether you're doing that as PAYE, whereby you have an employer who makes those deductions for you and pay them over to the NHT, or if you're a self-employed individual where you make those payments on a quarterly basis. So the NHT collects these contributions on an annual basis, and we hold them in trust for a period of 7 years, and they become eligible for refund in the 8th year. So this year is 2020. So since January 1, we would have commenced refund of contributions made in 2012 or earlier, right? And refunds are actually, the contributions actually are refunded
with interest.
With interest.
With interest.
A whopping interest rate of 2% per annum. So really and truly, what we find that a lot of individuals use this as a savings tool.
Yes.
That there are some who every January 1, they're online making their application. But then there are others who say, you know, I have this either home improvement project if they're a homeowner, or if they're going to the market soon and they need some savings to offset some of the costs. Some will leave it there, or just general planning. Some see it as, you know, I'm not taking it just yet.
Okay.
Let me stay there a little bit until I have something I really want it for. And your refunds are always there. They're always there.
Great, because I was about to ask you if the refund accumulates, which you just answered.
Yes, it's always there. We don't touch it.
It's in your personal savings account.
Right.
Look at it that way.
Like a savings account.
It's a savings account.
Okay, and as Dwayne indicated, you can use it when you're ready to obtain your home or a piece of land as well.
On that point, if I could elaborate a little bit, we have a facility called contribution refunds towards deposit. So it's a nice little cushion when it comes to the home buying process. Because many times you can go to the NHT or through one of our joint finance mortgage partners and you can find the financing in place. You can find either the 95% or 100% financing between two institutions. But then you start the process and you realize the vendor requires a 10% deposit.
Yes.
There is a valuation fee, there's surveillance, and there's sale agreement, there are legal fees, all of that. And you go,
where am I going to get that money from?
Your refunds, as I mentioned, they become available in the 8th year. However, if an individual is purchasing a home, the NHT makes those refunds not yet due available to offset some of those costs I mentioned. So we're refunding 2012 now. But if you are buying a house today, we will make 2013, 14, 15, 16, 17 up to 18 available to you to offset with either the deposit or the general fees associated with the purchase.
And I'll also add to Mr. Berbick, what he's saying is that not only the deposit that you need, but there are other housing related expenses that you find that you're just short on probably a 50,000 or 100,000. You just can't find that money.
Yes.
You're going to do construction and you need that additional money to start, especially excavation, laying the steelwork, or you need money for the surveyor's report or the property tax. Those little expenses are sometimes difficult for that ordinary man to find. The refund can be used to offset those expenses as well. We've actually expanded the use quite recently.
Okay, awesome. That's awesome. So tell me something. If I should obtain a loan, that refund, do I still get that refund after obtaining a home?
It is actually when you are buying that property, you're as a first-time borrower, that the refund is available to you.
Right.
So if you got your loan, say 5 years ago, and you've now learned about the contribution refund towards deposit, then no, you can't come for it now. It is at the point where you are actually accessing your first loan, whether you're doing construction or you're buying your first home.
But on general refunds, though, I think after becoming a mortgager, it's still available, just probably in a different way. So if you are joint finance mortgager, so you've obtained your NHD portion in addition to some additional funds from another institution, those refunds on an annual basis goes directly to the customer. If you are a public sector worker as well, your refunds on an annual basis goes directly to your bank account or your place of choice. You could also be a remittance agency. However, and I know we get knocked about this one all the time, if you're not in either of those two categories, what happens is that your annual refund goes towards your mortgage as a credit to your mortgage account. And I know some persons say, but I want mine in my hand like the public sector workers or the joint finance mortgages.
Because it goes towards the mortgage. Because you reduce it and you help you with the payments as well.
So what we find sometimes is that some persons may come in, may have a rough month.
Right.
Especially now
during the pandemic.
Individuals having, quite a bit of challenges. And yes, we have facilities in place for that. But however, it has been a cushion for some individuals because of these refunds going to your account over the years, you find that your account is in prepayment.
Yes.
So you could go a couple months without having to pay a mortgage because of that. And in the other scenario, it helps you to pay off your mortgage sooner.
Yes.
It does.
Yes.
It does.
So you do get it.
But maybe not in your hand, like how you want to
Right.
spend it, but it's going towards your mortgage,
Exactly.
which is excellent.
Yes.
So do I still need to contribute to an NHT after I receive a loan?
Yes,
you have
please.
to.
It's what keeps us alive. There's no other way to put it. And I know sometimes people say flow terms around like cash rich NHT.
Yes, it is.
It's not.
It is.
But let me explain. Let me explain. It's not that the NHT has this vault of money
Yes,
where we open every morning and we check and we say, oh, it's all there and we look at money. No, that's not how it works. Most of this cash rich that people talk about, it's the loans that we've issued to persons over the years. So about 85% of the NHT's asset base is in loans. So we need funds to be able to give the 9,000 mortgages that are going to come into us this year, and we need those funds from contributions to be able to continue our mortgages.
So please continue to pay your NHT after you own your home or your piece of land, right?
Yes, please.
Plus you can come back for your home improvement, your 10 plus or your 15 plus, and it ensure that you're up to date to be able to access that second loan from us.
What will happen if I lose my job?
I want Dwayne to answer that. We have introduced the Fresh Start facility.
Yes.
But even before then, I would say that once you find yourself in difficulty, you're experiencing challenges, you can't meet your monthly mortgage payments, it's very important that you come in and speak to us. Don't curl away and not answer your phone. You need to come in, let us know what's happening. We'll work with you. We're not quick to sell your house. We're not.
Where I come in.
Once you talk with us and let us know what's happening, we'll work out a new payment schedule. It could be an interest rate reduction, it could be an extension of the mortgage facility.
Awesome.
So there are things in place. We don't just sell your house like that. So let us know. And Mr. Berbick now will tell you about Fresh Start.
But that's a crux of the argument, because we find many times when individuals are in arrears, like, you're lucky. May have bigger problems in NHT, you lucky. We're saying come and sit down and have that conversation. There's something to help you. When individuals don't do that, as Camesha points out, and we've been sending you letters, we've been calling you, we are texting you, we're emailing you, and we're not getting any response. You just disappear off the face of the earth. So we're going to take some action to recoup, because remember, it's contributors' money we lend to you. So as a responsible institution, we have to ensure that, we manage those funds properly. And that's always, I cannot stress this enough, it's a last resort. So when you see the newspaper articles that NHT salesman's house, put a question sign and ask some questions. Did you come to the NHT and avail yourself of the moratorium, the reduced interest rates, the revised loan schedule, all of that? Ask those questions first before you rush to judgment about the NHT's actions. And we've looked at that kind of behavior in light of COVID, knowing that with individuals being laid off, reduced incomes, all of that, that individuals are going to need help. So we've done a couple of things.
Right.
First, we've waived late payments between April and September. So if your mortgage is late between April and September, there's no late fee.
We
And
hear
there's
that,
no
my
penalty.
audience.
There's no penalty on
Right.
that up to September 30. In addition, if you've had an adjustment in your monthly income, and it's just natural that you can't survive and service your mortgage the way you're used to, then we offer up to, in first instance, a 3-month moratorium. If you require more than that, then we can of course have that conversation and see how best we can assist you. And in general now, we've introduced what Camesha mentioned is our Fresh Start facility, which is really assisting our mortgagors who are in arrears prior to April 1 with an opportunity to get back on track.
Oh, nice.
Because we know with COVID it's only going to get worse. If you're already struggling with all this, fallout from the pandemic, it's only going to get worse. As its name suggests, it's a fresh start.
Clean slate.
Wiping the slate.
Yes.
So you would have accumulated some late fees, some penalties, and all of that. What we do is recalculate the mortgage and look at different factors. We look at either you may need an extension. We have a 40-year loan term. You probably need 50. You've probably gone 30 or 20 of it already, and you need a little bit more time. So we look at that extension of the loan term. We also look at the possibility of reducing mortgage rates, because perhaps since the time you've received your loan, rates have trended downwards, and based on your income, you're probably paying 8%, 9%, but the highest interest rate NHD has today is 4%. I'm probably moving you from that 9% mortgage to 4% is a big difference. And it's the ability to perhaps now put you in a position where you can service your mortgage on a monthly basis and do that easily.
That's awesome.
So that's what Fresh Start is for individuals whose mortgages are in arrears 90 days or more. We look at a combination of those factors, and probably having looked at the revised interest rate, having looked at the first one I mentioned, I'm having a senior moment. Having looked at the revised interest rate, having looked at the extended loan tenure, probably one is not enough. We probably need to apply a combination of the two. And there are other things in the suite of products and services for forbearance that can really assist mortgagors. Because yes, we're in the business of home ownership, but we are also in the business of home maintenance as well. And we have to ensure that our mortgagors remain up to date. And I know my loan management team, I have to give them a special shout out.
Yes, man,
They've
go
been
ahead.
working since April 1 and even before April 1 to ensure that,
Our mortgages
are in a comfortable place and in a good place. And we've seen in recent years that our arrears portfolio has trended down from 15% to below 10%. So these measures, they aren't just sweet as I'm spewing out of my mouth because there's a camera in front of them. They work and they're there for your assistance. But they cannot help you
if you
don't
stay
know
what is going on.
You need to call the NHT.
Yes.
I've had cases
And
where
save your home.
Yes.
I've had cases where persons are sick, they have a medical issue and they're unable to work, and when it's not being paid, there are times when you write off the balance.
Yes.
Oh, for real? You hear that?
On the property.
Based on the nature of the
And
illness,
the
you
nature of
can't
the
work
illness, you can't
anymore.
work, you're the sole breadwinner. We do an investigation and we look at it and say, you know what, the best thing might be to just write off the balance and let that person get their title and be free.
Right. So we have come to the end of part 1 of episode 4. Stay tuned for more of this discussion as we bring you more of real estate matters. Again, I am your host and realtor, Dwayne Morris, Central 21 Evo Properties. Please feel free to leave your comment, direct message me, or call me at 876-997-6570.